Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for WWE 205 Live for June 10th, 2019. Now let's just get right into the show. We have the commentary team of Aiden English, Vic Joseph, and Nigel McGuinness. Now, before the actual show started, it had one of those little intro packages by Drake Maverick, as they typically do every week. I typically don't talk about these a lot, but I'm going to talk about it here because it was kind of important. He first addressed his critics, about whether or not he's really focused on being the general manager of 205 Live, since he's been kind of focusing on the 24/7 championship on the main roster, which is stupid, but, I've talked about that before. Um, but he says to kind of put all the critics to rest, he's going to finally have a number one contender for Tony Nese's Cruiserweight Championship. And he makes a fatal four-way match between Humberto Carrillo, Akira Tozawa, Drew Gulak, and Orny Lorcan. And, the winner of this match is going to face Tony Nese at Stomping Grounds for the Cruiserweight Championship, which I liked a lot. I really liked, the reasons he gave for all the people to be in the match because it made sense. They've all been on a roll recently, stacking victory after victory. With Humberto Carrillo consistently beating Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and winning that fatal four-way match they had in the UK. Akira Tozawa winning the No DQ match with Mike Kanellis, and winning that fatal five-way match 4 weeks ago now, since this video's went up late, and really being on a roll. And then you have Orny Lorcan, who has a victory over Arya Daivari and has that impressive performance at NXT 25 and NXT Takeover 25 in the ladder match. Then you have Drew Gulak, who recently made his return and beat Akira Tozawa on the previous episode. So I thought it made sense for all of them to be in the match, and I really like the way he set it up. But then we had the actual show itself. We had the first match. It was Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus Chad Gable, which I didn't expect at all. Drake Maverick had hyped up that he was going to have a big surprise, and Chad Gable was the big surprise. Now, I'm not really sure if he's in the 205 Live roster, because they really didn't make it out to seem that way. Because they pretty much said that this could just be a wild card rule pick. But I actually would like to see Chad Gable in the division, and I think that's exactly what the case is here. I think he's actually going to join 205 Live because I think he would be a nice addition to 205 Live. He's that main roster name that everybody knows. He's floundering on the main roster anyways because they don't give him anything to do. So I actually think, he's going to be in the division. And, I think it makes sense considering how the match ended because I feel like, they would have had a clean finish. If he wasn't going to be a part of the division permanently. I could still see him, though, being on, part of the SmackDown, but the only problem is 205 Live and SmackDown take place the same night as each other, so he could, if he was going to have a match on 205 Live, probably not the best idea to have a match on SmackDown and vice versa. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But this match was awesome. These two men put on a clinic with each other. They both started off by doing chain grapples to each other. They did the thing where they did the monkey flips to each other and tried to do the test of strength. Jack Gallagher, while he was in a headlock by Chad Gable, got out of it with a handstand, which was really cool. But then eventually Gallagher throws Gable to the outside, and then he hits a drop kick and throws him right into the steps. And he ends up and Chad Gable nearly doesn't beat the count to get back in the win. And Jack Gallagher targets the shoulder of Chad Gable. He hits a wicked, German suplex, landing Chad Gable right on his neck, which I thought was pretty damn brutal. He hits a wicked knee drop, right across the spine, and he really went to town. He bent Chad Gable's arm back all the way, joint manipulation. But then eventually Chad Gable mounted a comeback. He had a wicked German suplex that I thought was going to break, Gallagher's neck. And, he hit two belly-to-belly throws, right in a row. And he got Jack Gallagher into an ankle lock, but Gallagher fought out of it and reversed it into a Fujiwara armbar, which was, pretty goddamn awesome. Gallo hit, had Gable in a fireman's carry position and hunt him up against throat first on the ropes and hit a wicked clothesline and try to get the victory. Not to be though. Um, Gallo hit a wicked half and half suplex, sending um, you know Gable on his head first on his neck. And then Gable went for the ankle lock again. Gallo reversed it. Went for a running drop kick, but obviously because of his leg, he wasn't able to get there in time, so he ended up just throwing Gable out of the ring. He went for a suicide dive. Gable counted it into a wicked German suplex right on the outside, sending Gallagher right on the floor, face first. And Gable gets back into the ring, and you don't think Gallagher's going to beat the count. He falls on the floor at 7, and the referee gets to 9, and he gets to his feet right at 9, and Gallagher, you think, makes it back into the ring, and think beats the count, but he just barely misses it, and Chad Gable wins by countout. But I actually like the way they did the finish here. It wasn't like one of those stupid countout losses that didn't make any sense, where like someone just got counted out. Gable actually did some damage to him, which prevented him from getting back into the ring. So I actually like that. And if they want to do another match between these two, I think now they can. So I actually like the way they did the finish. It was a way where both guys got over, and no one looked weak. And I think they're going to continue this. I think this is going to be like a clinic of matches between Gallagher and Gable. I think the next match they'll have will be like a no count-out match or something, just to see who's going to win and see who the real best man is. So I actually don't really hate the way they did this finish. I wasn't really mad at it. So, yeah, I thought this match was great. I really enjoyed it. And then Drake Maverick's backstage, and the Kanellises come up, and Mike Kanellis is upset that Drake Maverick isn't utilizing him to his potential. He sat on the sidelines recently on 205 Live. He talks about how he asked for the best cruiserweight in the world, and he gives him Chad Gable, and gentleman Jack Gallagher got him. And then he says, that he is not in the Fatal 5-Way match, even though he won his previous match. So he wants to know why, Maverick keeps consistently overlooking him. And then Drake Maverick says that, you had one win out of a pile of losses, and every time I give you an opportunity, you blow it. So he says that, but yet you'll go on Instagram and stuff and complain about your status with the company, which I like that he mentioned that. And he says that, why should I give you opportunities? And Maria Kanellis says that maybe you should worry about your own job versus my husband's job. And then they walk away. I really like this backstage segment, though. I thought Mike Kanellis was on fire here, and I actually can't wait to see what they do with this. And the Kanellises, too, just recently signed a new contract, which I thought was going to kind of happen anyways, but they signed multi-year deals, and I really liked it. So I like this backstage segment a lot. And then, okay, I sometimes when I do these notes, I do it just over last week's notes. I don't start any new ones, and I had something from like last week in there instead. But then we had the next match. It was the Sin Brothers versus Dos Locals, which is like enhancement talent, but since they were luchadors, they called them that. And the Sin Brothers do the Bollywood dance, and they do it with one of the luchadors, and one of the luchadors tries to roll up one of the Sin Brothers for the win, but that Sin Brother ended up kicking out of it. And the luchadors get like a little bit of a hope spot, but this I believe Samir Sin just roughly throws him on the floor, and he ends up hitting a heel kick, and the Sin Brothers just pick apart these two luchadors. They hit some really cool tag team moves. One really cool one when they do like a super kick Russian leg sweep combination. Never seen something like that before. I thought that was really cool. But they win with the Bollywood bash, which is like a backbreaker into a elbow drop combination, and they get the win. And they're doing the whole gimmick now where they won the Bosco Awards instead of the Oscar Awards, it's the Bosco Awards, which I think is really cool. And I actually really like what the Sin Brothers are doing in 205 Live. I think they need to bring in Cruiserweight Tag Team titles and have them be the first champions, because I don't know what the point is of really them being in the division if they're not going to have tag team titles. I like them and all, but you don't really see them as like single stars. They're going to definitely be tag team stars, and they got to do something other than just have tag matches every week, because they're not really going to advance in the division. So I kind of hope that's what happens here. But yeah, I like this. This was two to use like as a setup match, because next week which already happened, but they're gonna have a match with Lucha House Party's Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik, because it was supposed to happen, I think, like this episode, but then the Lucha House Party got like destroyed, so it didn't happen. So now that's gonna happen, officially, finally. And I actually like this. I actually think they could put on a really good match with each other, and I'm happy about that. I think Lucha House Party should just stay on 205 Live because they're really doing nothing on the main roster. And I don't know why they're on the main roster, honestly. So there you go. Then we had next we had Tony Nese get interviewed, and he talked about the Fatal 4-Way match, and he talked about each competitor in the match. He says that he still wants to face Akira Tozawa because he wants to test himself against one of the best cruiserweights on the roster. And he talked about Humberto Carrillo and how his lack of experience could cost him in this match. Only Lorcan, how he's like a big, mean, tough guy. And he talks about the new reinvigorated Drew Gulak, but also mentions that it was after his match that Drew Gulak went away for a while, which we know he really just went to NXT for a few weeks. And then that was that. Then we had the main event. It was a Cruiserweight Championship #1 Contenders Fatal 4-Way match. Akira Tozawa versus Humberto Carrillo versus Oney Lorcan versus Drew Gulak. And this match was just absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed it. Lorcan and Gulak worked together a lot throughout this match, which I actually liked. They throw Tozawa on the outside. And I like, too, how immediately in this match, Gulak went after Humberto Carrillo. He ended up just taking him out right away with a drop kick, which makes sense considering the fact that, that was kind of like his big feud before, he left 205 Live, was he was, like, teaching Humberto Carrillo, so I kind of thought that made sense. And, Humberto Carrillo tries to go for a crossbody onto Lorcan and, not Birch. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Lorcan and Birch because of the tag team. Lorcan and Gulak, but he gets caught. And then he lands on his feet, and Tozawa and Humberto Carrillo work together to take out Lorcan and Gulak. Tozawa and Carrillo go at it. Carrillo hits a really cool backflip moonsault splash right onto Akira Tozawa, but he doesn't get the pinfall, which I thought made sense. And Oney Lorcan hits a really cool half and half suplex. I believe he hits it on Carrillo onto Gulak, and he tries to get the win, but Tozawa comes in and hits a senton. And Gulak really went on a tail in this match. He picked apart everybody in this match for like 5 minutes, and he just looked really strong. He had really cool suplex, half and half suplex, and really cool German suplexes. I thought that was really awesome. And I really enjoyed that. Oney Lorcan just went to town. Hitting uppercuts on everybody. Carrillo went for like a crossbody, and Oney Lorcan really caught him right into an uppercut. And Drew Gulak gets Humberto Carrillo into like a fireman's carry position, and he throws Carrillo into Oney Lorcan and hits a wicked uppercut, which I thought was awesome. Lorcan and Gulak went at it with each other. They hit chops on each other and just really went at it. I thought that was pretty damn awesome. Tozawa hit like a cannonball off the steps right into Gulak standing up, and Carrillo hit a really cool backflip right onto Lorcan on the outside. That was really cool. The crowd was really into it. They were chanting 205 Live, this is awesome, things like that. We had other things happen in this match where, Humberto Carrillo and Akira Tozawa were working together. They did a double team Frankensteiner right onto, not Frankenstein, but Hurricanrana onto Gulak. And they went to hit they hit a double super kick on Gulak when they went to face off with each other. And then Tozawa hit a super kick on Carrillo. That was really awesome. Carrillo hit and Tozawa went at it again, and Carrillo did the backflip into the arm drag, which was really cool. I liked that a lot. Lorcan hit a double blockbuster onto Gulak and Carrillo, and then Tozawa and Carrillo, and then obviously all the stuff with Gulak happened, and he ends up hitting a dive right on the outside under everybody, which was a common thing in this match. And Lorcan's all fired up. He's looking like a machine, and he's gonna go in and just tear Gulak apart. But then Alia Davari comes out with a chair and clobbers only looking right in the back with it, which that interference made complete sense considering the fact that they've been feuding recently, and Ari Daivari blames him for costing him the cruiserweight title to begin with. So Ari Daivari in his mind got revenge on him. So I actually kind of like that was a way to continue the feud, and then eventually Humberto Carrillo, Tozawa, and Gulak are gonna do a Tower of Doom spot, but you know, Drew Gulak just shoves Humberto Carrillo, and he ends up like tumbling onto the barricade on the outside, right next to Nigel McGuinness, which was crazy. And then Gulak hit a superplex. Sorry about that. I got a phone call, and I don't really want to redo the video because I just, poured my heart into that pretty much. So, as I was saying, the ending of the match, and I'm also at the end too, so I don't want to do like I do another take. But the end of the match is Drew Gulak hitting the superplex on Akira Tozawa, and both men pin each other. They both hook the legs. Both men's shoulders are down. The referee counts, and he counts 3, but we don't know exactly, who won the match, and referees and such arguing about it. Drake Maverick's kind of trying to see who it is. They raise each other's hand and they boo Gulak and cheer Tozawa. Yeah, pretty much we don't really know who won this match. We don't have a decisive winner. So I don't exactly know what's going to happen here, if they're going to do a triple threat match or if they're going to do a one-on-one match between Tozawa and Gulak on next week's, which is like this week's 205 Live. The next episode, I should have said. And decide a number 1 contender, maybe do a 2 out of 3 falls match or something. I wouldn't really complain. I imagine, too, that's going to be kind of a tough match to book because Tozawa shouldn't be losing and Gulak shouldn't be losing, so I don't know, maybe they'll just do a triple threat. Not really sure. Because 205 Live isn't really known for doing like multi-person matches. They typically do one-on-one. And Tony Nese have talked about how he's wanted the match with Tozawa, so I could see Tozawa winning the match. But I don't really think Gulak should be losing this early in his character transition, so it'll be kind of questionable. But I like the way they did the finish, though. It kind of keeps people wanting to watch the next episode, and it keeps you invested. It's a hook, so I like it. So I really like this. And that was 205 Live, and I thought it was an awesome show. I really enjoyed it. They had 2 4-star matches probably on this show with Gable and Gallagher in the 4-way match. I liked how it set up the tag match with the Sin Brothers and, Lucha House Party, and I really enjoyed that Drake Maverick, Mike Kanellis backstage segment. So I'm going to give 205 Live, I'm going to give it an A. It wasn't quite a perfect show. I think what ruined this show was I really noticed it this week, but the jump cuts I didn't really like this week for the camera shots. And, I really, I don't know if they really should have done like 2 no finishes of matches on the same show. That's kind of maybe a questionable thing they did. It wasn't like I hated it or anything. I mean, I get but I think they should have done 2 shady finishes on the same show. I think they kind of should have had maybe in the Gable Gallagher match someone get a win and then do the thing you did in the main event. That's the only thing I would change on the show. But that's pretty much the end of my 205 Live review. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell. So that way every time I upload a video, you guys get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my own Talkinator and CM Brothers YouTube channel. That's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.